There is an incredibly niche, bizarre corner of the video game market dedicated to letting you play as Santa Claus. The problem is that during the holidays, your free time is already limited. Trying to find a good seasonal tie-in usually means gambling those precious hours on broken, low-budget cash grabs. You cannot rely on standard Game of the Year metrics to filter out the bad ones, because these titles are built and sold entirely on novelty. To actually enjoy one of these games, you have to ignore review scores and figure out exactly what kind of psychological payoff your brain needs right now. Broadly speaking, there are three main ways players approach a holiday gaming session. First is the tactical player. You want actual game design and tight controls. You just want them wrapped up in a holiday aesthetic. Next is the chaos seeker. You've spent the last 6 hours making small talk with relatives, and you need a sandbox of dark comedy and destruction to decompress. Finally, there's the nostalgic. You are perfectly fine dealing with clunky retro mechanics, provided the game delivers traditional, wholesome charm. This flowchart illustrates those three distinct paths. We're going to sort 6 popular titles into these exact categories. Matching the game to your specific profile is the only way to guarantee a positive return on the time you invest. If you want mechanical depth, the definitive choice is an indie title called Secret Santa. You play from a top-down perspective, testing your spatial awareness. You have to be patient, wait out patrols, and memorize the guards' movement patterns. It pays off by giving you a highly rewarding stealth loop that feels remarkably similar to classic stealth franchises. The trade-off here is runtime. You sacrifice long-term replayability because the game wraps up very quickly. But it works. By prioritizing a tightly designed, frustration-free loop over bloated content, it proves a holiday tie-in can succeed purely on its mechanics. If your priority is blowing off holiday tension through dark humor, we shift to a completely different set of games. The highest budget option in this space comes directly from Capcom with the Dead Rising 4 Santa DLC. You run around a zombie sandbox, wiping out hordes with weapon combos like candy cane crossbows and exploding presents. The trade-off is that the gameplay gets highly repetitive unless you actively force yourself to invent new weapons and change your strategy. On the opposite end of the budget spectrum is Santa's Rampage, an indie first-person janitor simulator. Santa had a meltdown, and your job is to clean it up. Mopping up the blood and trash in a ruined workshop ends up feeling like a therapeutic power washing session. To get that catharsis, you do have to tolerate intentionally clunky mop mechanics and a deeply bizarre, non-traditional tone. For immediate slapstick laughs with zero learning curve, the absolute lowest friction alternative is elf bowling. It demands nothing from you beyond a simple drag and release mechanic. In return, you accept extremely low-budget visuals and zero mechanical depth. For a chaos seeker, that lack of depth is a fair trade. You happily surrender graphical fidelity for pure, immediate stress relief. Then there are players who couldn't care less about gameplay innovation. They are strictly looking for traditional, family-friendly charm. For them, there is Santa Claus in Trouble, an unpretentious 3D platformer where you hop around collecting lost presents. The trade-off is complete mechanical familiarity. The design offers no modern advancements whatsoever. If you want maximum wholesome nostalgia, you look to a cinematic minigame collection like the Polar Express. To play it today, you have to endure severely dated, clunky control schemes straight from the early PlayStation 2 era. But for this demographic, the nostalgic feelings and the wholesome cinematic score entirely override the need for modern gameplay polish. Finding a game to play over the holidays means abandoning review scores and plotting out your personal preference. This chart maps our recommendations. The x-axis tracks tone, the y-axis tracks mechanics. For mechanical polish, Secret Santa lands in the wholesome complex zone. For catharsis, Dead Rising and Rampage fill the dark comedy quadrants. Chasing nostalgia, the simple, wholesome quadrant provides retro experiences. Mapping your current mood directly to this matrix ensures you get the exact psychological return you want for your time. The Santa simulator market is defined by novelty, and expecting a masterpiece will only lead to disappointment. Honestly assess the kind of holiday mood you are in before you purchase or download any of these titles. The goal is a cozy, low-stress gaming session. Pair the right game with the right mindset, and your holiday downtime will be a success.